Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to the Underground Cave. I'm joking. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Yep, last Sunday was Mother's Day, so we didn't have a paint-along, so we're doing it on Tuesday. This is the makeup one. Now, tonight, we're going to continue with Nor'rOkk the Ettin from Reaper 07065. Now, this will be part 2. I will post these paint-alongs on YouTube, so you can get those through the Discord. Let me just throw the link to the Discord in there. So if you're not part of the Discord, you can join the Discord. It's an information center, more than a hangout center. And I will post all 4 links to the paint-along in those in that channel. Just look for paint-alongs 2024. We've already done a few of them. So yeah, so there's that. Go ahead over to the Discord and put yourself in. I let you know what we're painting. I let you know where we get those things from. And then I give you a basic color palette so you can grab those paints. And then I will tell you what I'm using in case you have those paints or you want to get those paints. So if you have your paints and your brushes and all of your other tools, then let's get painting. Ooh, all right. Sorry about that, everyone. I was doing a Tuesday technical tryout about a half hour ago. We ended. So now we're working on the second installment for this gentleman. So this is Nor'rOkk the Ettin. And we have a color palette. So let me go ahead and grab the color palette for you. To remind everybody what we're using, I'll just start off. We are using a purplish gray color, which is Demonette Hide from Citadel. That's a base color. So we are using that. And as far as our Reapers go, we are using Rosy Skin Highlight and Wilderness Green 09411 for the green, 09069 for the rosy highlight. And I think what we did is we determined that the rosy highlight was a little too white, so we had to kind of glaze back in some of that rosiness to it. We're also using the black and white from Reaper, which is the solid white and solid black, 09478 and 09479. So we're using those 2 colors for our black and white. So we have a light skin tone, we have a green, which is sort of on the darker side, a purplish gray, and black and white. To highlight that dark green, we're going to go with the Monument Hobbies bright yellow green. So this is bright yellow green, which looks very yellow. Oof. We're going to have to change the color scheme on that. Let's see. This is what happens when you don't do your proper checks before. Yeah, there we go. So we should be about here. Let's see, how's that look? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yep. Bright yellow green. All right, we'll try that. So let's apply that really quick. All right. So that's our bright yellow green. That's what we're going to use to highlight. We're using a reddish brown, which is mahogany. So that's going to start. We want some sort of brownish, and we can make different browns using different highlight colors. But one of those highlight colors will be the yellow ochre from Monument Hobbies. Just any normal yellow tannish color will do. We are using silver from Monument Hobbies, any mid silver tone, so like chainmail for Citadel, or I don't know what the mid tone is for Reaper. We're using bright ivory. I wanted a warmer white tone. I didn't want just white because they're on the skin tone. You kind of want to keep it more on the warm side. So we're using ivory, bright ivory, and also for the wood, we can highlight that with. So those are our, oops, one more color, forgot the purple. So we're using some purple in our whole mist of colors here. This is more to shade and tone down some of the flesh tones. It's a nice mid color between the flesh and the medium gray, so you get some tonal differences there. So those are the colors we started using a couple weeks ago, and because it was Mother's Day, we didn't get a chance to do this last week or this past Sunday, so we will continue on. Now today, what I wanted to do was work on some of the wood, and also we want to kind of smooth out some of the skin. So we're going to try to do that. Plus, we want to get some silver into some spots here, some green. So we're going to spend the next several hours trying to get him to a tabletop state so you can put him on the tabletop. And then in the next 2 weeks, the next 2 Sundays, when we start working on him for real, we will start adding in more tabletop plus quality stuff for this gentleman. So as you could tell, we wanted the light to come from this way. So this is how we want him to look. And you can see a lot of the darkness with the light going on. And then as I turn him, you will start to see him kind of fade into some shadows. So here's where the shadows go. We might bring up some more of this muscle back here, but if you look here at where we wanted the light, I can still see some purple back there, so you kind of have to figure out where the light is coming from. So I can see some purple back there. We'll have to fix that up. And then, if you're looking at it this way, then you're looking at it this way. Do I see any brightness? So it's things of that nature. So today, let's start working on that wood. Let's get the green in the armbands and some silver on where we have the chains, okay? And then we'll also get some wood stuff going in as well. So if you are ready, let's go ahead and let's get the green out. Let's start right with the green. Get some green right into the armbands, the leather armbands, and kind of somewhere where we can see. We want to add some spots of color here. Now the skin is going to take us a while, so don't worry about the skin if you're because he's a lot of skin here, so it's just going to take us a while. So we're going to go right here to this nice green. I'm going to throw a bunch of it on there. I do want to darken this down a little bit, so I am going to add a little bit of black to it, but we have to remember that black is a very powerful color, so we're going to keep it off to the distance, and we're just going to add it as we need it. And we will take and grab a brush. And so because black is a very powerful color, you don't need a lot of it. So I'm going to do 3 shots of this green right now. Oops, that's 2.5. There's 3. So grab all that. And then when I grab the black, it's not a lot of black. It's just on the tip of the black there. When you add that in, it will darken right down. And you never want to add too much black. Now, if it doesn't look like it's enough, we'll add a little bit more. It's too much. There we go. So we want to just kind of bring this down just a little bit. All right. And we're going to go in. Oh, I need some music here, don't I? So let's get some music. I don't know what kind of music we want. I don't know what we did last time we were working on him. Let's just do some rock. All right. And I'll try to keep him on camera the best I can. So we're just gonna go right in here to these leathery armbands, and we're gonna kind of get as much green on there as close to possible. Try not to get any on your skin tone, because this is a dark color, and if you get it on your skin tone, it's gonna be tough to remove it. We can fix it, but it's always nice to just take a breath, slow down, and just try to get that paint where it needs to be. I don't want to scare anybody saying, oh, I got it on the skin, that means I've ruined it. No, that doesn't mean that at all. It just means that you're a little too quick, and you just have to kind of, we all make mistakes. It's not like, mini painting is 25% of it's just getting paint on the miniature where you want it. The other 75% is fixing everything that you just made a mistake on. So what I want to do is I want to get some color on this, because what we want is this to be on the table for whatever reason. So maybe those players, that team thinks that they're too powerful and they can kill everything. Well, now they have to contend with this. So you want to put it on the table. So let's get some color on it. So we're going to do some green leather armbands. Like so. Oh, that looks black on camera. Maybe I need to brighten this up a bit. Let's see. For some reason, my saturation's just not doing it tonight. Either that or I don't have enough. Maybe I just don't have enough light. I'll have to figure out, let's see. Can't really turn this. So I'll come this way with it. All right. It's a dark green, but I didn't want it to look black on camera. All right, so we'll just do all of these here. Oops, put in the wrong green. It's not good. So we're doing green armbands. You want to start with a nice dark, even green, because we will bring that up a little bit. So I doused it with water. Now I'm trying to get it back to my green. There we go. That should do it. You never really have too thin of a paint unless it's going all over the place. You want to have paint that you can control. So if it's not covering very well, that's fine, as long as it's not going everywhere you don't want it to. Because you can always repaint over things that you want to be that solid color. Go. That's what we want right there. So just take your time and get the green armbands on there. I'm also going to make this kneecap green. What that does is it gives me a green on the top and also on the bottom. So when people look at the green color, they're not just looking at one spot for the green, but now they have to look at everything in this direction for that green. And that's what you want. You want them to be able to look at the entire miniature, and you control where you want them to view things. So we're going to make this green down here. So now you get a top and bottom green there. And just looking to see if there's any other place that I might want a green. I'm going to say yes. All on this foot. Or not foot, but you can see it right here. So remember when we were painting this with that flesh color? Now you can just take your time and paint this green, and it should cover up that flesh color. So you want to paint this with a nice dark green so that it covers up anything that we don't want to be flesh or brown. And then as we highlight, this becomes much darker, and this becomes our recesses for our green. All we do is just add a little bit of black to that green so that when we go in and highlight it, it'll just kind of mesh, right? So I'm painting this dark green anywhere I see leather, because this, even though that this is going to be in the shadows, I can use the medium green or the medium dark green to actually paint over the top edges of this, and it will keep all of this nice dark in the recesses. And then we can edge highlight with the lighter green. But for right now, you just want to paint everything you possibly can without hitting all over the skin with this green. And don't worry, we'll get this to pop off the table. So the thing that we're going to do is we're going to get the skin tones good, or well, at the best we can. We're going to get the wood to pop, and we're going to get this green to pop, and it will be nice tabletop quality. And then we'll get tabletop plus by getting everything else in. All right. And then we have some green down here on this foot. So I'm just painting all over the bands. That's my goal here. I think right under this fin. This is going to be tricky. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I'm hoping you could see this, but I'm just going to go right down here. Just painting all of the leather bands. And it doesn't matter how thin this darker one is. Once I get the other green one on, it's gonna be there's gonna be two coats on. So I just want to make sure that when I do get that other green on, that this is dark enough so that you can see it. Okay. All right, before we go, oh no, can't. I totally forgot, I missed this. Pretty easy to miss stuff, so just make sure you're looking all over. Okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3. We got 3 spots here. So this half doesn't see any green, right? So this is what Tabletop Plus is. It's like, okay, here's where my green is in this area, from this arm to this leg. There's some green here, but there's nothing over here. This is where you can actually add in a little bit of green or moss so that you get green all over the mini. We're not going to do that today, but you could. I could add green to my brown here, and I could add it in. All right. So we're gonna let the green dry really good and see if we lost any other spots for the green. And I'm gonna go right to the silver now. So grab your silver. We're gonna do the chain, and we're also gonna do the rims around the belly and the knee pad. Oops. All right. So now here's the thing. If I add black to this silver, it's going to dull it. If I glaze black over the silver, it's gonna dull it. So what you want to do is you want to take this black first, and you want to clean up anything that's metal. So like where I have this flesh tone, I want to clean that up. Kind of where I put this purple here, I want to clean this up. You really want to clean up where you're going to paint metal. Now, I could use a clear paint to darken this down, or a transparent paint to darken the silver down. But I think if I can just clean up the surfaces that I need to, we'll see if this is going to be too bright. That's my big fear, is that it's too bright and then we're going to end up having to tone it down. So, and I can already see a little bit of rough skin that we're going to have to smooth out. So just make sure you're painting all of that metal stuff back to black, cleaning up where you have the skin tones. I think we did more on the front than we did the back when we were working on Sunday. We might need to do 3 weeks for tabletop and 1 week of tabletop plus, because there's a lot of stuff going on with this miniature. But I absolutely love this miniature. It's got all the textures. It's got metal, wood, cloth, fur, leather. All right. I think we're good. The only thing I'm going to do is the rim around this belly here. And then I will show you what we're going to do with the metal. Okay, so what we're going to do is a simple overbrush. That's what we're going to do over the chain, and that's what we're going to do over this knee pad and the belly shield. And when you overbrush, so for example, I'm just going to take regular silver paint, and I'm just going to paint the flat edges of this wood. This is me painting silver on this particular club, right? Now these could be rocks, but we're gonna make them silver. So that's me painting silver on here. When I overbrush, we all know how to dry brush, right? I just wipe off the silver paint and I dry brush. I don't really want to do that here. I want to overbrush because I want to get those links in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to load it. And if I had a flat brush, it'd be better. But I don't have a small flat brush, do I? I'm looking. Don't. So we're going to use this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this up like so. And I'm just going to kind of do it once on one side, turn it again on the other side, and it turns it into a flat brush. But I haven't scraped off all the paint. And what you're going to do is just like a dry brush, you're not going to paint, you're going to kind of dust. So I'm just going to kind of go over this and streak it. And as light as you do it, it should hit all of the links to the chain. Let me get a better brush so you can see it. We'll get this brush. This brush sucks. Alright. So I'm going to get paint on the brush. Like so. Once. Flip it 180. Twice. And then use that to just lightly hit the chain. And you will get all of those links. Because it's still wet paint on here, but you've actually taken most of the wet paint off. And this is what the overbrush does. It's not a dusting. You're still painting, but you're painting with very small amounts of paint. And you're just hitting the tops of things. And I'll just flip it over and get the other side. If you do it too fast, you're going to hit the skin and then you're going to have to repaint over the skin. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So again, I load it up, I wipe it off. So I go one way. Flip it 180, go the other way. Whoops. See? I don't wipe it until it's gone. I wipe it once one way and twice the other, and then when I go over it, I'm just hitting those high spots. So it acts as a dry brush, but it's not. Now you could go one step farther and actually paint all the chains individually, but I'm not doing that for tabletop. I could for tabletop plus to make these look a little bit more striking and make them pop more. So just a little quick overbrush. Overbrush only works when you have an extreme highlight on an extreme shadow. So extreme highlight, or yeah, you need it on a dark color. So that's why chain is so nice, is because you get all that nice black in there to make it work. Now I can do the same thing, right? I can do the same thing on this knee pad. Now you're not going to dust it back and forth, you're just going to kind of stroke it one way. So I'll bring it down. I'll bring it this way. And that's what you get from there. That's why we wanted to clean this up, because if I was to paint this all silver and then wash it, I lose a lot of the shine from it. So what I want to do is I want to overbrush. And you do that just by not taking all of the silver paint off, but pretending you're dry brushing with wet paint. That's how we get that. Do the same thing on the belly. Again, once this way, flip 180, once this way, and then go ahead and this one's a little trickier because you got the fur there, but if you take your time, you should be fine. And it looks like you dry brushed, but you didn't. Go. Instant metal. And we'll wash that off. All right. I don't want to do too much of this club because I do want to do the wood grain stuff. So we'll work on that soon. What I want to do now is go to now that the green is dry, I'm going to go right to this green, our normal green that we didn't darken. And I'm just going to do the flat edges of these bands. So what I'm going to do is take this color and I'm just going to paint the flat edges. So I want a space in between each band because that's where we have the dark color. But this is predominantly the color I want for these. So this is where the facing is going to be. So really, the only dark green is in between these greens. Try to not paint over the dark in between bands. Being as close as you can to those. But you only want to stay on these flat areas. See how that, where I'm just painting on tops of those bands? No, don't go in. No. Shoo! Handle saved. Let's see if I can show you here. So all I'm doing is following the edge of this band and just coming out. And I'll do the same thing over here. Trying not to get in between. That's where I want that nice dark. So you get to see the individual bands. And it may not look good now, but trust me, when we get the highlights on there, it will stand out more. So you may not see that darkness right away, but you definitely will when we get the bright in there. Because you can make anything darker just by adding some brightness to it. Okay. And we can do the same thing on the leg bands. So hopefully the leg bands will show you a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So go ahead and do those, and I will do those as well. This will be your one chance to catch up if I'm going way too fast. This is that wilderness green that I was using. That mid to dark green tone. I wanted something that had a little bit of warmth to it, but a little bit of darkness to it. And we'll do inside that knee pad. Again, I'm doing as close as I can to the edge, but I still want that dark in there. One sec. Sorry about that. All right, let's see how that green's looking. Green's looking pretty good. At least on my camera it is. I mean, on my in person it is. All right. Mix in a little bit of yellow green to that. So there's some yellow green. Take some of this green that we have in there. Mix a little bit of this yellow green in there to brighten it up just a bit. Adding water always mixes nicely. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time we're going to stay closer to the middle. So like on this knee pad, I'll stay closer over here. And because we want the kind of light source here, I'll just kind of indicate that I don't want to cover up all of the green that we just put on there, but you want to cover up what you can see. And this will make the initial green much darker. So I'm just doing this on the flat areas. The reason I'm doing it very subtle like is because I don't want this to look like it's a hard leather. I just want this to look a little on the softer side. And so I'm just adding in where I think the shade color should be. Or not the shade color, the highlight color. So looking at my light. Hey, Cephalopod Studios and Catmaster, what's going on? How are you doing, sir? Got two of the raids. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Geltip, and we're mini painting. Tonight is our second installment of our paint along. So on Sunday nights we do a paint along. However, for those of us that celebrated last Sunday, it was Mother's Day, so we weren't on stream. So I'm making up for last Sunday by doing the Sunday night paint along tonight. So welcome in, Raiders. How are you? Let me give a quick shout out to anybody that's been lurking, to two of the greatest painters in the business. That would be Cephalopod and Catmaster. So let's do that. And shout out at Catmaster. Whoa, that's a little loud. Sorry about that. Happy affiliate anniversary. This Twitchy shit made me unfollow. Faking stupid. What the heck? I have no idea what happened to all my sound levels. It was like, I cannot believe that just blew everybody's ears out. Let me bring this down just a little bit. There we go. So welcome in, Raiders. My name is Geltip, and I have a Discord like everybody else in this business, so you don't have to go there. I use it more as a informational center. So anytime I do these paint-alongs, I will throw in I export them to YouTube, and then you get the YouTube streams, and you can paint along at your leisure. So if you ever wanted to paint Nor'rOkk the Ettin, those will be up there. So that's last year I did Thursday night paint-alongs. This year it was Sunday until the summer. Then we're going back to Thursday nights. But you can find out what we've done this year by going to the paint-alongs 2024 in the Discord. Also, I do a lot of shout-outs. One of which is, where's my camera? There it is. Up here I have Slideshow Live. So when I stream, I try to give everybody that I follow and get inspiration from, I give them their own little shout out by giving them a slideshow. So all you have to do, if you are a streamer and you want to see your stuff or you want to be promoted for free, just go to my Discord, go to the advertisement slideshow, drop me your most proudest piece that you've ever done. It doesn't have to be your best piece. It doesn't have to be, a painted piece. It could be anything that you're really proud of. Maybe you slayed that non-metallic metal on something, or maybe you slayed OSL. It doesn't have to be an award-winning piece, but if you send me a picture, I'll make you a promo slide, and you'll be streamed, or it'll go in the slideshow, and then every time I stream, you get a little shout out. So, oh, I painted one of these fun guys, like this model. The skin choice is awesome, man. Oh, thanks. So my camera likes to whiten everything out. So, um, so this is kind of just a rough sketch of the skin tone. And as you can see over here, I have to glaze back in all of my skin tone to bring back the color. For whatever reason, my camera likes to wash out. It looks white, and it's not really white. But yeah, so I'll be glazing and blending this out a lot more. And then I'm also trying to work on some lighting. So here's where I want the light to come from. And then over here, this all has the same triad, but it's a dimmer triad until you come to the back, which is the same triad, but you know, it's darker. So eventually this will get more highlights to it. And then as you come over here, this will get all blended in with those midtones. And then that way, when he goes around, everything is kind of... So we're in the rough sketches of it. But we need to get them tabletop ready. So we're getting all of this stuff done. So these are our paint-alongs. I don't know if I have any of my paint-alongs here. Because, you know, I don't keep things readily available. But yeah, so if you're interested in what I do, I don't have any finished pieces here. It's so sad. I have no finished pieces here. But if you're interested in what I do, Tuesday nights, outside of tonight, we do technical tryouts. So I just take and try to do some kind of effect or some end product, or I try out a new paint line. So a couple weeks ago, we were doing grayscale. So I was working on this guy all in grays. So it was just kind of getting all kinds of gray tones, getting some highlights where I wanted the most highlights. So this is all gray scale. So if I want, I can actually go in and paint him. I can glaze him. So that's the first thing. We try to do bamboo. So here's my bamboo that I've worked on. Just had to look at some reference pictures. Today, we're working on how to paint all black using tonal differences. So this is all black, but this is a warmer black skin tone, and it's a cooler mane. So we're working on this. So that was all black. And then I didn't get to my white, but I'm trying to do the same thing on the white. So making a warmer white as the fur and a cooler white for the feathers. So eventually he will be a white owlbear from Reaper Miniatures, but we didn't get a chance to finish him off. It's only an hour-and-a-half technical tryout. Anything else I did for technical tryouts that we wanted to see? Oh yeah, we were trying to do glow swords. So I was trying to do this as a glow sword or a molten sword. We did this guy having a glow sword right here. And this guy had a glow weapon or a molten weapon that we were trying to work on. So we were just playing around with different techniques and stuff. So that's what we do on Tuesdays. Fridays, we finish the film brigade because everything is on a film case. Because I start all these projects and I never finish them. So I start on a project. He's on a film case. He needs to get done and done quickly. Not done quickly, but I don't know. I have all kinds of people on film cases somewhere down the road. Oh, there's another one. This one's on a film case. We're doing Warduke Chibi, trying to get him done. So that's what we do. We finish the film case brigade on Fridays, and then on Sundays we do these paint-alongs. Which, if you join the Discord and go into Thursday night, or excuse me, Paint-Alongs 2024, I give you a basic color palette that we're going to be using, and then I will tell you what paints I'm using, and then if I have time to find alternate colors, then I will do so. So that's what we do here on the stream. Usually streaming is where I do most of my hobby. thank you for coming in with all of your folks. I appreciate it. And let's get painting, because that's why you actually came here, to see me paint. And we were just working on some of this green leather bands before we get into the wood grain. So that's what we're doing. So right here, so where I'm looking at the light is where I want to put this nice green highlight. So we're just going to kind of throw it here. So anywhere I can see where that light is where this light green is going. This is still, it's not the edge highlight, it's still the band color, but I'm trying to get the band color to be green. So we're just doing the flat edges of all of these, but I'm not doing all of the flat edges now. I'm not going to that darker side. I want this to be a little bit lighter than the shadow side. So that's what we're doing here. So we're giving it a little bit of Tabletop Plus quality, but we're not giving it too much Tabletop Plus quality, because that's what our next couple streams will be for. But right here, I'm just kind of adding in a little bit of this light green. So notice that this has the light green here, but this side won't, right? So you want that little highlight shift going on. So I'll do the foot here, kind of like that. So there you go. There's the green that's going on. And the green is a nice color for that skin tone. All right. And then the last thing we would do is we would take this nice bright yellow green here, and I would just go ahead and hit some of these edge highlights here. And then you can blend these in as you wish, but I'm just doing these, I'm hitting the edges, because when you hit the edges, it makes all of that dark in between darker. Who would have thought that if you added brighter colors to certain things, it would make things next to it darker? All right, maybe everybody, but just letting you know that that's how you can make something darker, is by adding a lighter color to it. So I'm just going in and just doing the edge highlights, or maybe you can get around those little circles right here. This edge highlight. All I'm doing is edge highlighting using the side tip of the brush, not using the actual tip of the brush to edge highlight, using the side of it. And you can also kind of hit around these little divots and the holes. And there we go. And now you have some green leather bands around your Ettin. All right, let's get into the wood color. That's mahogany right there. So let's get out our mahogany. So how was your stream, Catmaster? How was your stream, Cephalopod? I'm assuming that you guys are streaming together because you both came in to see me, and Lord knows why anybody would want to come in and see this mess of a show, but can't even get my mahogany out of here. I'm gonna have to open up the new one. There it is, yay! Come on, one more, yes. All right, must use all of it. This is probably the first time I've ever actually used all of a paint. I love mahogany color. All right, now with the mahogany color, we're gonna go right to the yellow ochre or the yellow tan color, whatever you're using. I'm going to put that up here because I'm not going to add in a lot of yellow right away. So I know that we can see the wood grain here because we use a thin brown undercoat, and that's what I want to follow. So we're going to go with a lot of mahogany, so maybe 3 mahoganies, and then we're going to do 1 yellow, and it's really gonna lighten it up a bit. And we all know that if we use water or even Merlin's magical magic medium, it makes things mix much better. Now let's add another half a yellow in there. There we go. That's what we want. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is make a new mixture that's just a little bit darker than that. That is not darker than that. There we go. That's what we want. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is before we get into those wood grains, I want to actually, I'm going to do a little bit of playing around here. So I'm going to start towards his hand, but work my way out. And I'm just going to leave where his hand is darker to kind of make it look like he's always been holding it there. It's getting kind of dirty and grimy from the oils of his hand. So we're just going to bring this a little bit more brown out, and we're going to do the same thing going the other way. So we're going to take this and we're just going to kind of bring this out and about. Keeping around his hands a little bit darker than normal. And I'm going very, very soft with this because I don't want to get rid of all of that dark brown that I have inside the grains, because those are going to pop once we start highlighting those grains in there. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So here, let's see, if the light is coming this way, then definitely want to see some brown over here. So and then do the same thing over here. So just kind of painting, see where things land. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then we'll paint on the top as well. Maybe some light gets over here. All right, that looks good. All right. Okay, so for wood grains, I just keep adding this yellow in here. So I take this yellow, add it in here, and then I'm just going to go and very, very softly just go around some wood grain with this nice bright color. And since it's not my most highlighted or the highlighted, the final highlight, I guess is what you want to say there. I don't really care if I am a mess with this. So I've been saying for the longest time, organically, anything that's organic has some chaos to it. And so you don't have to be super careful when you're doing organic stuff like wood, fur. If you do, it's going to look man-made. It's going to look stripy. You don't want that. You want some chaos to it. So if you don't do a straight line, you don't do a straight line. Who cares? But that's how you keep things kind of looking authentic. The more organic something is, the more haphazard it becomes. Very seldom is there something natural that's completely like perfectly straight. So I'm just going in, and if I accidentally hit something that I'm not supposed to hit, I'm not trying to be overly cautious with this first round of grain highlight. I just want to have something there to show off texture. So there's that. And then you go in and you add a little bit more yellow. So we're going to go in and add a little bit more yellow. And if it doesn't look light enough, then you add more yellow. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. This time, like, I don't even remember what I did, and I don't need to worry about it because this will tell me. But you don't want to do the entire grain with this. You want to like start in the middle and end somewhere in the middle. Or you could do like these little divots or knots. But you do want to do the edges all of the time. So I'm just going to do these edges because that's where it, usually where you cut tends to kind of fade out quicker. Hey, did we just lose all the music? What happened to all my music? I didn't turn it off. Let's get some music in. Sorry for all of that, my friends. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. We were doing some rock, so let's do upbeat dance. I don't think we've ever done that. All right. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be highlighting some of these grains. So when you think you're done highlighting, you can always add in more yellow, and you just keep going. Oh, and the other thing is, if you're doing this and you accidentally miss or skip, like sometimes you take the paintbrush off, don't go back to fix it. Just leave it. Remember what I said, organic chaos. That's what we want. Oh yeah, you can see it. All right. So I have some wet brown here, so I'm just gonna kind of ignore that and miss that. Okay. Add more yellow to this mixture. And we'll start at the top here, work our way down. Very light touches. Notice that I'm skipping around. And if I miss too much, I don't go back to fix. I think I could probably get a little closer there. Go. So you just have to find some spots. And I'll do some up here. So we're going to just be doing this for a little bit. So don't feel like you need to watch me too close. Just figure out where you like your highlights and go nuts. And when you're all done with that highlight, you just stick more of that yellow ochre in, and you keep going. Sometimes I'll use the side of the tip just to hit multiple veins. All right, let's grab more yellow here. And at some point, so I'm just gonna kind of hit like the middle of places now. I'm just gonna do very controlled highlights. Just anything that I want to accent. Notice that I'm not sticking to any real scheme here. I am following as many highlights as I can. I don't want to lose all of that detail. And I don't want to lose all of that grain either. But just want to we'll do the same thing on this side. Did a nice big highlight right there. And then I'll just do little ones around it. Just to show you that it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry. You can't really make a mistake unless you're making stripes on your wooden club. The only time that you really don't want to do all of this lining and streaking is once you get to the actual yellow ochre. So when you think you're all set with mixing in the yellow ochre to the brown, we're going to take that yellow ochre and we're just going to kind of spot highlights, kind of control where the highlights actually go. But see, you don't even know where that big highlight is anymore. Okay. Now we're only doing like the front of this. We haven't done anything in the back, so I'll save that for you guys to do at your leisure. We're just trying to make this so that when people look at it from this angle, it's going to look pretty potent. All right, so when I do just the yellow, just to show you here, I'm just going to do the yellow here, and I'm just going to hit anywhere that I see sort of like a corner, right? So like right there, right here, kind of like where it's sort of like popping up, like this little corner right here. I'll do. And then obviously we have to do these right here. But anywhere where you think that it's gonna kind of be up in the, like definitely over here at the end, right? Because that's where it stops. That's where the wood stops. So you definitely want to put it right there. But there's a spot right there. Kind of like that. So you can kind of see where it ends, and that's where I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at all those little corners. So like right here. So they're kind of hard to see, but if you can find the corners of some of these little wood things, that's what you want to kind of highlight with your yellow. And you definitely want to highlight around, I mean, we haven't done all of the silver, but you definitely want to highlight around that silver. Because that silver is pushing out the wood grain. Just like right here. See this? I don't know. Let's see. There we go. So right here, there's a little jut of wood and a little jut of wood right there. Right there. So it kind of gives you an idea of like, this is coming out of this club. So we're just going to highlight kind of like those wood pieces that seems to be sticking out. Little piece right there, piece right there, and we definitely want to do these end pieces right here. There. along there. Right, and then we have some right here that we can do. I'm just trying to find out where certain wood grains stop. That's what I'm trying to get those ends for this yellow ochre. I go back to one of my earlier highlights. Want to give this a little bit more of a highlight here, just to kind of there we go. That's a little bit more complete. Oops. Yeah, see, now it doesn't look. Trying to make it work and it didn't do it. So now I have to try to make this look like nipple logs. See, when you do it too much, you always end up messing something up. That's why okay. Guess we're gonna have to wait. I don't want to mess it up anymore. Alright, so we got the wood color, we got the green in there. That's looking good. We got the silver in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this silver, and like how we overbrushed everything, I'm actually going to paint in the highlights. So wherever I want the highlights to be the brightest, I'm going to actually paint those in. That way I don't lose the shine by trying to gloss over anything that I don't want. So doing that overbrush showed me where the metal was, so now I'm just going to do the shine really quick. Just kind of fill everything back in. Just a quick edge highlight using the side of the tip of the brush. Go. And with these links, I can actually just very easily paint over some of those links very carefully. You don't want to paint inside that black area, but at least you could see kind of where you have to touch. Nice. All right. All right, we need to fix some of this skin tone. So I'll show you how to fix some of that skin tone. So we'll spend time fixing up the skin tone, and then we're going to, we'll probably call it here. Oh, before I do that though, I do want to take that I want to take that bright ivory. Remember we were doing the fur with the bright ivory? So I'm going to take some of this bright ivory. And I'm not going to do the yellow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mahogany color again, and I'm going to add in some bright ivory to make a brand new brown shade. So this is what we put this ivory on the fur, and so with this mixture, I'm actually going to go and do this little skin tone right here with this 2, I think it's 3 mahoganies, 2 bright ivories, and I just want to do this little flap over here over the fur. See, if I used anything but this, then it wouldn't look right on the fur. So I'm just gonna kind of bring this over like so. Yeah, this one's a little bit of an ambitious piece to get tabletop ready in two sessions, so we may have to wait until the third one to get him kind of really set up. But at least the colors are there, and you can continue on if he's somebody that needs to be on your table. Or if you're just waiting for me to finish them with you, then that's great too. Now I'm just going to go all the way into the back here. Even though this is the darker portion of this, we can always darken this down, or we can make this the darkest color and light up the front. But I wanted to make this a whole different brown tone because we have a lot of other brown areas in here. Like we got that barrel, we got the ropes, so by just adding a little bit of a different color, I could add green to the brown, and we could have got a whole different feel. Oh, that was the other thing too, is if I wanted that green to portray all over, I could have done green. I could have glazed in some green over here and made it green all the way through the mini. Don't really know what to do with this in here, so maybe I'll wait on that. All right, so that, I'm gonna add another ivory to this. And water is always a great mixing agent when it comes to this stuff. This might be too light, let's find out. But I want to stay towards the outside of this. Yeah, I think that's going to be too light. Let's get a little bit more of this mahogany in there. It's just too stark of a contrast. I don't want that. Not yet, anyway. Are we listening to the same music over and over again? What good is this channel if it's just gonna play one piece of music. Alright, we need to find something else. I'm like, what is this about? Thanks, Twitch. So all I'm doing is I'm on the front of this. I'm not doing next to his skin. I'm just trying to do the front. Someday I'll stay on camera. All right. That should be good for right now. Get this nice little edge right here. I could probably do this back here a little bit. This light will hit there. Okay. All right, now we'll do some of the skin. So in the front of the skin, remember that we had this color and a mixture. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, and the bright ivory, right? Okay. So I want some of this. Oh, I already have bright ivory. I don't know what I'm doing. I need some flesh tone here. Okay. We're gonna add a little purple to that. And we're gonna take some of this Citadel Demonette Gray. Let's probably make out. Gosh, no. All right. So the skin tone, we started with this rosy skin, and we added some bright ivory to that to really kind of make it bright. And now what I want to do is I want to add some of this rosy skin with a little bit of purple here. Ooh. More rosy skin in there. It's, what is it, 3-to-1 right there? 4-to-1 right there? 5-to-1. Alright, we can go 5-to-1. A little bit of this gray. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so 5 rosy skins to 1 purple and a half of the Demonette hide. So we're gonna do that. Okay. We're gonna make a glaze out of that. So the thing I want to do here is take some of this rosy skin, this mixture right here, and I want to get a little bit of this. Nope, don't want to do that. I want to get some of this rosy skin on here. And I'm just going to kind of clean up a little bit around here. want to lose all of that highlight, but I do want to get as close as I can to that shadow color. At least for the light side. So looking at where I want this to be highlighted. So we have our final highlight on here. What I'm trying to do is get, like right here, this faces the light, so I kind of want to do this. All right, sorry guys, I got to change this. There's like it says 234 tracks, 14 hours, but we're going to play this one track. So now you have to listen to VHS. Like, what is that all about? All right. So it's not really the highlight color. It's more of like the mid-tone. So wherever there's the highlight, I'm just going right next to the highlight because that's where I need to be with this color. So this is just the rosy skin. And I'm just painting next to the highlight. Kind of what we did last week. Or not last week, last Sunday. But we did it with a much darker color, I think. So right now I'm just trying to paint next to the highlight. So this is Rosy Skin from Reaper. And we're going to go in with some Rosy Skin in purple momentarily. But I'm just trying to get where the light is in here. So wherever we put our highlight, I'm just painting next to it. And we can fix the lighting afterward in Tabletop Plus category. So you just have to keep looking at it, right? You gotta keep looking at it and say, okay, this is where I want it. So I could see some muscles back here. So that's where I've got to hit. So I've got to hit these muscles back here because the light is gonna hit those. All right, so. All right. Now that we got that in there, we're gonna make a glaze from this guy right here. So we're just gonna add a lot of water to that. Make sure we can highlight with it. I don't think I have anything that has words on it. Oh, that's not even, oh, close. All right. I'm going to use this color to make my glaze. So we'll get rid of that moisture in there. And I'm just going to kind of glaze over these little shadow spots. Do this again. I think I need more purple in there. And I really kind of just want to get this in the recesses, so it kind of just blends everything in. Oops. My apologies. Oops. That was too much. Let's see what this does. Trying to get the right glaze here. There we go. Is that a glaze? That's not a glaze, that's paint. Okay. I need more water. That's what I need. This is the color I'm looking for. This has everything I need in it. So let's see. Yep. So all I'm doing is glazing in the recesses of everything. Trying to bring color back to his skin. Ah. All right, let's see how his face does. There we go. So it's not really a wash, it's more of a glaze. I'm just bringing back in the pigment that kind of got faded out from the ivory. And I'm using that purple and Hide to do that. So I've added purple in to the mixture, at least to the front anyway. into here, into the legs. And so all we're doing is smoothing out these blends here. And putting some pigment back into the flesh with the purple. And I'm adding a little bit of rosy flesh in there. Add some of this lighter one in. Only because I'm gonna hit like the top of the arm here. Right here. And that's gonna be a very light color, but I kind of want the light to kind of hit that and still be a little colorful. So all this is just a little glaze. So yeah, the purple is what's gonna put the the color back into the skin that I think we messed up. Just hitting this highlight a little bit there. There we go. Yeah. So like I said, the skin tone just needs to be blended out more on him. So all I'm doing is staying inside the recesses. I'm not trying to highlight. If it highlights, it's just by mistake. I'm just trying to stay within the recesses of like where his eyes are, his nose, his ears. Remember, this is the lighted side, so it's going to get much lighter in the shadows than it will back here. So you can definitely see now the color that's in here versus what's back here. So I'm just in the recesses adding this lighter purple in because I think it's too dark in the light. That's also the reason why we're getting a lot of white looking skin tone in the light. So remember, this is just a glaze, it's not a paint. So once it dries, it'll start getting a little bit pinker. I mean, it's It looks pretty fleshy and pink over here in person. On camera, not so much. And so this is basically what you have to keep doing. You have to keep glazing in. But I think he's looking pretty dope right now. So remember to get the excess moisture off before you go into the glaze, or else it's just going to turn into a wash. Get off of that green. That's not what we want. Remember, because this is the lighted area, your shadows should not be super dark in the lighted area. They should be darker than your highlights, but not super dark. We'll save that for the darkest behind him. He has some funky feet. That's all I know. Let's see if we can't get a little bit more of this purpley color. Is it glaze? He's definitely getting pinker. I could see it. Take some of this rosy color. Just adding a little bit more highlights to them, and then that way we can glaze back in. This is that very light, so I'm just kind of hitting anything that's supposed to be bright on him, and then I'll glaze back in with the pink. Or the rosy flesh, not the pink. But I think what we had was too dark of a highlight, or excuse me, shade. So it wasn't really reading the way I wanted it to read. So just sketching back in the highlights. Yeah, I think that's much better. All right, we gotta wait for all that stuff to dry, but that's kind of where we're at with this. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this rosy skin, and I'm going to make a glaze out of that. Yeah, even that's going to be way too purple. So I'm going to take some of that rosy skin and I'm going to kind of glaze it back in there to bring the rosy skin back. So it's sort of like this. That might be contaminated. But you kind of want to glaze in the rosy skin again. To that effect. We'll get there. He's looking pretty good though. From where I can see, he's looking pretty good. He's gonna look like he's popping off the table. So, yeah. So if you want any kind of homework, glaze back in the rosy skin. Make sure that you're using a glaze to get the filter. So one thing that you probably can do also is if you take this yellow, green, you can go ahead and do more highlights with it. Like I'll just go back over all the highlights I had done before, and it will make them a little bit more highlighted. So. And then, oh, the other thing is the silver. You can, now that we got most of the wood stuff done, you can go ahead and just kind of use your flat part of the tip and just paint all of these little flat metal pieces. If you want to do them stone, you can also do them stone. But so you can just kind of hit those, and I would use the flat part of your tip so you don't hit the wood. You can come close to the wood, but don't hit it. So that'll be my homework for before Sunday. Is I will try to get this looking a little bit pinker, like you know, you could see the pink on there if I cover up the light. All right, so there he is. That's kind of what he's looking at, and then we have to slowly kind of blend in all that flesh. So we're gonna have to get the flesh tone back here to blend together. But we got the green in, we got the wood done, and the silver. So we'll spend more time working on the faces on Sunday, and we'll get more of we have the ropes back here to do, so that's going to be fun. And we also have this barrel that you pretty much have all of the things that you could need to, because we did it all out here. It's just going to be the silver, the wood grain, using the yellow that we did. So yeah, and we'll add some color with where the fish are. So it's gonna be cool. He'll turn out cool. I don't know if we can get him completely done in 4 weeks, but we're gonna definitely try. All right, let me turn this music off now. And thank you to Catmaster for following, and thank you to Catmaster and Cephalopod Studios for both rating into me. I appreciate it so much. I don't know why anybody would want to rate into me, but no, I kid. I try to do a lot of stuff on the stream, and you don't need this white light in your way. I try to do a lot of stuff when I stream. So this was a makeup for Sunday. My next paint along will be this Sunday coming up. We'll continue on with Nor'rOkk the Ettin. We'll get more stuff done, and hopefully he'll be tabletop ready. And then we'll come back the following Sunday, the last Sunday of May, and get him to be tabletop plus, which means adding in features. Maybe we give him a nice scar on his belly, or maybe we give him a tattoo. Maybe we give him tribal stripes on his face. Who knows what we're going to do to give him some character, but that's what we do for Tabletop Plus. We give each piece an individual characterizing technique. I should have more of these things out and about so I can show people the paint alongs that we do, but you can always see those in the Discord just by going to the Discord, and I will put up the video for all of these as we go. The next stream will be on Friday evening at 9 p.m. That's finishing the film case brigade, so we'll see what film case we can take out and finish. I'm trying to get a lot of projects done so I can just work on my own stuff. Sorry I wasn't around last Friday. I was sick and I just took the night off. But yeah, we're going to get back into it this Friday. And then again on Sunday, we'll do more with the paint along. So if you think you want to join the Discord and get yourself into the advertisement slideshow, please do. And if you want to keep painting along for Nor'rOkk the Ettin, which is from Reaper, it's 07059. You are more than welcome to grab yours and look at how we're painting them. Or you can just wait for all of the YouTube videos and then paint along there. Now it's time for me to do my rating, since we've been on here for quite a while today. And I think we'll go over and see. I haven't seen this person in a while, so maybe we'll do that. Let's see. So he's been on for 36 minutes. We're going to go and say hi to Useless Wizard. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Useless Wizard is, please check him out. Stay there for about 5 minutes. Find out if he's your kind of streamer. He's a fantastic mini painter, by the way. And again, inspiration, tips. I only have my skills based on what I see from them. So we're going to go and hang out with them. I have to raid and run only because I've been on since 7 p.m. So I'm a little hungry and I have work tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave, I'm going to go and raid into Useless Wizard. And if you have somebody else you'd like to go to, at least stay for the raid and then you can bug out. But I hope that you stay and where's the search? Oh, this is all new. What the heck? Let's see. Oh, search filter. Here we go. Why do they change things without telling me? All right. Oh, I don't. Oh, well, okay. That's kind of cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping in, and I will see you on Friday at 9 p.m. Let me start this raid, and we'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody, and remember, I'll see you behind the brush. Good night.
It is a way of getting some bright saturated colors.
A wizard is never late,
Oh,
Frodo Baggins.
Gel tip.
Nor is he early. He
That's
arrives
precisely what he means to. Gel tip.